All right, what's up, y'all? So recently I made a slight change to my reload that knocked a lot of time off of it. So I'm gonna go over kind of how my reload has evolved over the years and what it is now, and how I've tried to get a consistent reload over the years. So let's get some chalk. So I don't necessarily want the fastest reload. I just want something that I can hit every single time, especially when exiting a position. And that's where I've had the weakness so far. So we'll do it dry here first. So kind of the way that I've done my reload before without even thinking about it was because even though I have large hands, I have to shift my hand. Probably you can see how far I can move my thumb. So right now it's even with the mag release. I try to get that callus there onto the mag release so I can make sure I depress it. This is just a disadvantage of running a stock Glock, which I'm fine with. So I have to shift my hand that far to hit the mag release. What I've done in the past was do that, hit it, and then reload, and then while I'm mounting my other hand up, get my firing hand on the gun to build a good grip. Therefore, that was taking a lot more time, I think, than I realized when I was going fast. So kind of all I did, and it shaved, I could get about a 150 pretty consistently. I think I had one or two that were like 130 reloads. But my first time trying this, I dry fired a couple times, went out and live fired it. It was 120. My fastest so far was about a 115 after trying a couple times, like doing a 4 aces drill, so making sure I have my grip built back up again. Sorry for the wind, it's a little bit windy out today. But, so now all I do is hit the mag release, immediately shift my hand back over, point the mag well at the mag, and reload it. Then, all I gotta do is rebuild my firing hand again. Rebuild my support hand to get my pressure back on it as I go out. So I'll go ahead and demo how I'm doing it now, and then I'll try to mess myself up a little bit how I did it before. And this has been, the biggest thing this gave me was a lot more consistency, because while I'm moving, most of the time out of position, I can get that reload in as I step, and it gets done a little bit quicker. All right. So 2 alpha, right off the bat, that was a 81 first shot and a 117 reload right off the bat. And I dry fired like 3 mag changes before this, and I haven't dry fired mag changes in probably a week. So 117 right off the bat. So now let's try the way I used to do it. And that was, by the way, 2 alphas at like 3 yards. I wasn't really pushing the shooting speed that much. Let me try it the other way. So the other way I used to do it, like I said, is keep my hand shifted and then reloaded, and try to push my hand into it to get the gun shifted back. Let's try that. I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not. Then I'm going to demo some other ways people reload as well. Oopsie. Not going to cut that out, but that's hilarious. Haven't done that for a while. Somehow I managed to drop the magazine and fumble the gun. And I did it the same way. I've been dry firing it the last couple weeks. It's probably going to take a couple tries to get it to back how I was before. Something like that. It's a lot less efficient, and that was a 192 reload. Now that I know to shift it, it's muscle memory. It's almost impossible to not shift it. All right, so let's try. I'm going to go over a couple other ways people reload. So there's different thoughts about how high you're supposed to hold the gun while you're reloading. One of the biggest keys to keep in mind when you're doing it is you have to know how to reload going this way. So make sure, however you reload, that you practice doing that so you don't break 180 when you're reloading, because I have almost done that before. So There's different theories about where to reload the gun. Some people reload here. Some people just do this and reload here. Whichever one you choose to do, make sure you have your eyes on the mag well. Some people move their eyes to the mag when they grab it, but I haven't found that to be necessary. Although if I purposely do it, I tend to be a smidgen more consistent, but it's one time out of 100 and it makes it a lot slower. So here, one of the biggest keys I think to reloading consistency is tucking that elbow. So I'm touching this elbow right here to a singular index point on my body. So doesn't matter if you're here, and as you can tell, it's not like I can change how high I want to do it. It kind of depends on what I'm doing too. I'll change my height of gun to reload. So if I'm trying to do like that and do a one-step reload to the left or to my offside, it's going to be a little bit different than doing a one-step reload like that. For this way, I'm going to try to keep it a little bit higher. So that's kind of my thoughts on reloads. I'll do a couple 2 reload 2s at like, I don't know, 3-4 yards, something like that here. And goal for this should be around 2.1, 2.2, something like that. Really fast is like under 2 seconds. I haven't ever done it under 2 seconds, but my goal is to do it under 2 seconds eventually. All right, so I fumbled it there. One, that's just me going fast and telling my brain to go fast. 2, I didn't quite get my gun shifted all the way over like I would like. But that's an advantage of pushing speed. But that was 2 shots in .83 with a 6.8 draw, both A-zone. The goal for this drill is all A-zone. Well, I pulled a Charlie, but that was a 207. And I've struggled ever to break 240 on this drill before. So just that little tweak, making it more efficient, that kind of stuff you got to watch for. Now, your reload isn't a huge deal on an overall stage, but it can be that 3/4 tenths of a second isn't that big of a deal. But consistency is, and second of all, that being able to get that reload in one step as you exit a position, you can make that exit movement a lot more explosive, still hit the reload, and you're going to be moving quicker to your next position. So for instance, I'm not sure how far over I can go here, but if we go, which one's emptier? There we go, something like that. But if we do this, throw a step in here. That wasn't super consistent, but you get the idea. My footwork was messed up a little bit there. Try that again. That was still a 213 with a 7.3 draw. Once again, I didn't shift the gun all the way over, but that's consistency issues that I need to work out in dry fire. That was better. The 6.9 draw, a 107 reload on a step. So that's where, oh, my target blew over. That's where I just shaved approximately 3, maybe 4 tenths off of a one-step reload. And when I get there, I can have the gun up, ready to shoot again. So just maximizing efficiency on stuff like this. I'm just using this as an example. You probably don't have the same problem because you're not like me running a stock Glock mag release. But if you do, that's something you can look at. So just efficiency is the name of the game in all of this. So if you can have stuff more efficient without exerting as much effort, it's going to make it a lot easier. So one instance of that is a draw. So if I draw, why am I hitting the mag release? Might not have seated it all the way. Haven't ever done that before, except for 5 minutes ago. On the draw, if you have a straight line from your holster to your target, it's going to be the most efficient. None of this crap. That's very inefficient. I'll put it on the timer just to prove it. All right. So a 6-2 middle A zone hit with an I scoop draw. That's personal preference. If I snatch draw, I can get not quite that fast, but close. A .77 on a snatch draw. So obviously it's just hand speed and efficiency. So if I do that crap like I just did, like I was demonstrating earlier, don't do this. So even though my hands look fast, that was still a 9-4. And there's positive and negatives to everything, but this kind of draw, it just wastes time. Get the gun out there, and if you need another 1/10 of a second to get your grip set, do that. It's still going to be faster than doing that. That was horrible. Still a 165. I fumbled a little bit on the draw. One more bill drill just for funsies. .155. So draw is also same thing, not terribly important, but consistency is. And consistency at speed is what wins matches. All right, thank y'all for watching. Hopefully you learned something, even if it's just a little bit about consistency or efficiency on something. Maybe you can tweak your reload a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching.